This short video is going to explore the difference between what we call exact values and uncertain values. So what's the difference between exact versus uncertain values? So uncertain values are the ones that we measure using some instrument in the lab, and usually we report those out to so many digits, and that last digit we have a little bit of uncertainty. So we're not sure if it's actually at 3, could be a 5, that kind of thing. Exact values, on the other hand, have no uncertainty associated with them. So how would you get a measured value that has no uncertainty? Well, there's sort of two ways. The first way are counts. So anything that you can go in and count, like the number of oranges in a box or the number of students in a class, that's going to not have any uncertainty because we know we can count whole individual objects. Or another example, the number of samples included in an average. So, if you're going to average 3 values, that number 3, that value. There's no uncertainty in that because you can count those. The other example of an exact value is something that's a definition. So oftentimes conversion factors are definitions. So for example, this conversion factor, 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Oftentimes it's a definition because they will say something like, when they give you that conversion factor, by definition, or they'll say exactly. Then it's no uncertainty. So the inch is simply defined this way. So the meter is one of our standard SI units, and it's actually defined in terms of certain number of wavelengths in light of a certain color. So it's a distance that anybody can set up an experiment to measure in their labs. And so it was just defined that in the US, 1 inch is going to be 2.54 centimeters exactly. Similarly, we define this connection between the milliliter and the cubic centimeter, also known as a cc. That's really popular in the health profession world. They talk about cc's of volume. So that's the same thing as a milliliter. So 1 milliliter is exactly equal to 1 cubic centimeter. But there are many other examples of conversion factors that exist because people have defined them that way. So this 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters, well, that's an act of Congress. So it is that way because we say it is. So what's important about exact values when we're doing calculations that involve them? So we've just learned these significant figure rules, but exact values, it's like they have an infinite number of significant figures. So they won't limit the number of significant figures in a calculation. So when you count those number of digits, don't let those enter into a calculation. So for example, let's say we've done this measurement, 126.23 inches, and we would like to convert that into centimeters. So we can use this conversion factor right here. 2.54 centimeters is equivalent to 1 inch, or 2.54 centimeters per every 1 inch. And so this is a conversion factor, so remember, down and away, we're going to put the unit that we want to get rid of downstairs in the denominator. That will cancel out, divide out the inches in the numerator up here. So we're left with just centimeters. So when we multiply them, we get this number out of your calculator. So now we'd like to report this to represent the uncertainty, because presumably there's some uncertainty in this hundredths of an inch out here. Maybe we haven't measured that. So it could be 5, 6, could be 1 or 2, we're not real sure. So there's some uncertainty here. So where should the uncertainty be here? Well, remember, we're supposed to count and keep the smallest number of significant figures. So you might say, oh, this number right here has 3 significant figures, so I should only report this to 3 significant figures. But this is an exact value, so it won't limit the number of significant digits in your calculation. It is as if it has an infinite number of significant figures. So this first number then has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant figures. So we're going to report our final answer then to 5 significant figures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we don't need to round that 2 because that's a 4 right there. So 320.62 centimeters is equivalent to 126.23 inches.